So feel free to keep your camera on, but if you want to turn it off, that's cool too. We're going to do more introductions at the very end just to kind of keep with time, and we'll do that at the end, and I'm not going to record that part, so we kind of feel comfortable saying what we want to. So, and also the slideshow that I'm going to go through, I can share it with you later, so there is kind of a lot of information, so feel free to jot what you want to down, but if you miss something, like I'll send it later. So I have that. Okay, I think we'll go ahead and get started. Let's start with a prayer. Let's see. I found this one and I really love it. So here we go. A prayer for guidance. My Lord God, I have no idea where I'm going. I do not sense the road ahead of me, nor do I really know myself. And the fact that I think I am following your will does not mean that I am actually doing so. But I believe that the desire to please you does in fact please you. And I hope that I will never do anything apart from that desire. And I know that if I do this, you will lead me by the right road, though I may know nothing about it. Therefore will I trust you always, though I may seem to be lost and in the shadow of death. I will not fear, for you are ever with me, and you will never leave me to face my struggles alone. Amen. All right. Okay, so we'll just start kind of basic. The purpose of this group, as you know, is to learn strategies for increasing mental well-being and resilience, which I think we can all agree this is something now that we need, but I think throughout our entire life, we need these strategies. And then to build a positive, confidential community that respects, supports, and encourages one another. And that's always, I love connecting, being a part of a group. And then the confidential part is really important because since we're talking about mental health, whatever we discuss in this group is confidential. It's not going to go anywhere. So feel free to, share what you would like to. This is just kind of some guidelines and boundaries. They'll seem really obvious. This is not a group for ranting, debating the news, politics. I think we know that, but just to put that out there, no judging, comparison, gossip. Like I said, confidential, so no gossip, but I wouldn't expect that. And just a caveat, no medical advice. I'm actually not hey, Anne. I'm not a medical health professional, so this is just my own experiences, my own research. So I just kind of have to say that if there's any, if you need mental health resources, I do recommend going to a mental health professional, but that's not me. So just to let you know. Let's see. Okay, and then I know some of you, but I just wanted to kind of introduce myself. I have gone in the past to the 8:15 service. I don't see too many people, so I'm happy to get to know y'all. This is my little family. This is my husband, Brad, and our almost 6-year-old Elijah. This is our dog, Layla. She's 8 and very, very youthful. She's very hyper, not slowing down. So my husband, he owns a local business, small business, and I help him out with that. And I do stay home with our kiddo, especially this summer. A little bit more about me. I do have a background in teaching. I used to be a high school teacher, briefly. It was not for me, but I did also teach yoga for about 3 years. I'm a current Stephen minister, which is, I love the community. Yes. I love the community. It's very important to me. And then I think kind of the part I want to share with you is that I have had struggles and, currently, anxiety is something I deal with. And so in my own life, I've really been intentional about how to boost my own mental health. I've researched strategies. This is honestly like an extremely top priority for me to have great mental health. So I'm just really excited to share with you what I found. And so that's who I am and why I'm teaching this. Moving on, the structure of the group. We're going to have a topic each week. I do have an assignment, kind of like something to journal, something to do. That way it's not just something we do here on Sunday. we kind of go forward and use what we've learned. We'll do prayer requests at the end. I believe prayer is super important to keep us all connected, to know what we're going through in our life. And then the Facebook group, y'all have all joined. This is where I hope we build a really cool community with discussions, check-ins, support. I know with Zoom calls and with multiple people, it's a little hard sometimes to get everything we want to say, or if, we have to leave the room or things like that. So we're going to really use the Facebook group to, answer questions and start talking about these kind of things. So, and if you have a question, just kind of like wave your hand to get my attention. I'm watching all of you, so I'll be able to see that. Weekly topics. This is subject to change, but I've tried to do my best to get a rough outline. We've got this week, which will probably be maybe the shortest week, defining positive mental health, resilience. Next week, foundations. Week 3 and 4, creating a positive mindset. There's so many good tools and resources that I personally use, so I'm like super excited to share those with you. Week 5, about mindfulness and meditation. And then the last, kind of a recap, next steps, kind of what do we do with all this now that we have that. Any questions so far? We good? Okay. All right. Jesus and mental health. So I feel really reassured. I found a lot of great verses, and some of these I use in my own life quite frequently. And these have to do with mental health and why it is biblically important to have good mental health. If you want to, you can write these down. I might have used translations that you're maybe not a fan of. I know we all kind of have translations we like. So if you want to write down the chapter and verse and kind of look into your own Bible, feel free. The first one is, peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not let them be afraid. Okay. This next verse is like, I don't know, I call it like my life verse. It's very like, it leads me. I don't actually use this translation often, but I really enjoy this one. I have come to give you everything in abundance, more than you expect, life in its fullness until you overflow. That's pretty amazing. That's pretty great. That's from Jesus. So I feel like, great. That's exactly what I want out of life. This next one, I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. And then the last one, are you weary, carrying a heavy burden? Then come to me, I will refresh your life, for I am your oasis. So these are kind of, I'm going to be sharing more verses later, but these are kind of, I feel like really give you a good sense of what we're working with here. So here we go. Okay. Mental health is important, something everyone has, worth making time for, part of being human. It's changeable. It's complex. Now, what it isn't an interchangeable term with mental illness. It isn't about feeling good all the time. It isn't fixed. And this is, I think, the most important one. It's not something to think about only when it feels broken. So if you're here doing this class and you're like, I have great mental health, that's cool. We still need to take care of it. That's still important to work on. And of course, mental health isn't shameful. And I think our society is moving towards way less stigma on mental health and everything about it, which is awesome. Okay, so then let's define what is positive mental health. Positive mental health allows people to manage a range of positive and negative emotions, manage stresses of life, manage change and uncertainty. So this might sound familiar with our world going on right now. We need our mental health to just kind of deal with everything, to feel strong, to get through it. And then also, positive mental health allows people to work productively, maintain good relationships with others, make meaningful contributions, realize their full potential. So you can see, I mean, I feel like mental health really is all of life. We need it for everything. So, resilience. Resilience is an ability to recover from or adjust easily to misfortune or change. And so, as I was looking at this definition, I thought, I'll be honest, I don't think I'm a person that adjusts easily to change. I kind of resist it. I don't really prefer change, but I do believe I'm resilient because I can recover from these things. And I think everyone has that in them. And all of you have that in you because you're here, you're learning, you're wanting to move forward and grow wherever you're from. So sometimes I think that word seems like, oh, I can't be resilient. That sounds like someone who's gone through so much. But it's really just recovering from adapting to change. So I think that's an important definition. Any questions? All good? Okay. Okay, now this is a lot of information, so jot what you want to down, but this will be available later. And this is something I found that I love. This is the mental health continuum, and it's like we can move from the green to the orange to the red to the yellow. It's not fixed. This is kind of, we'll just go through them. So healthy, the healthy side, normal functioning, normal fluctuations in mood, takes things in stride, consistent performance, normal sleep patterns, physically, socially active, good sense of humor, usual self-confidence, comfortable with others. So we've probably all found ourselves there at some point. Hopefully that is a good place to be. And then reacting, common and reversible distress. So I've been here many, many times. You may see some of these that are you've experienced as well. Irritable, impatient, nervousness, sadness, increased worrying, overwhelmed, procrastination, forgetfulness, trouble sleeping more often and falling asleep, muscle tension, headaches, lowered energy, difficulty relaxing, intrusive thoughts, or decreased social activity. And again, this is not a fixed state. This is very fluid. It's like a spectrum. The next one, injured significant functional impairment. This one, we have anger, anxiety, lingering sadness, hopelessness, worthlessness, negative attitude, difficulty concentrating, decreased performance at work, significantly disturbed sleep in both falling asleep and staying asleep, increased fatigue, aches and pains, recurrent intrusive thoughts, and then avoidance, withdrawal socially. And I like how this is, it's labeled injured, so it makes me think of like if you injured your leg or your foot, it's just an injury. You would go get medical professional help. You would want to fix that, and that's just the same way it is with the mental health. And then the last one, it's a clinical disorder, severe and persistent functional impairment. So this would be like high levels of anxiety, panic attacks, depressed mood, feeling numb, suicidal thoughts, intent, cannot concentrate, cannot perform duties. You can't fall asleep or stay asleep, constant fatigue, illness, easily enraged, aggressive. You're not going out at all. You're not answering the phone. The last part of this continuum that I find really helpful is that the first two are generally in need of self-care, taking care of our own needs, and social support. So something like this, a community, having friends, having family. The next two, needing professional care and support. So I think all levels need self-care and social support, but closer to that orange and red spectrum, it is important to realize that it's just like being physically injured. You would go to the doctor if you broke your leg. If you're feeling injured or ill, you would seek out professional care. So I think this is a really good model to look at and kind of understand that we'll be in these different levels throughout our life, and there's nothing wrong about that. It's just a good place to kind of understand where we are. So again, I know this is a lot, but I will have this available so that you can look at it more or share with anybody who might want it. Okay, The mental health toolbox, I refer to this a lot in my own life. Like I said, I need mental health resources. I use them in my daily life for anxiety. And so I have like 10 or 12 that I've written down that I'm going to end up sharing with you over the 6 weeks. And these are personal to me. If you try them and you like them, great. If they're not your cup of tea, that's fine. I do encourage you to start creating your own toolbox of things that would help you. In your daily life, feel more positive, more resilient. So, the first one, journal. So, for me, I've journaled since I was like 11. This is just something I personally enjoy. I know not everybody loves, writing. For me, I write every morning. I do a little gratitude, just 3 things I'm grateful for. And if I don't have a lot of time, I kind of just, that's probably all I have time for. And that feels good. If I'm going through something in my mind or I'm feeling like something's going on, then I'll start to write what I'm feeling. And I find it very therapeutic, very helpful. So I do recommend that one. And we will be using that throughout the class for our assignments. Okay, the next one, a morning routine. Now, I have a 5-year-old right now, so my morning routines, if I wake up early, I can get one, but if I don't wake up early, then I get a shorter one. Basically, what I mean by morning routine is just something to start your day off that makes you feel really happy. Um, the rest of the day, we don't know about what's going to happen, but the morning is such a great time to start it with. Some people exercise, some people listen to a good song, drink a cup of coffee outside. So I would even maybe kind of jot down like, what could I start to create, or what have I already created that's a positive morning routine? Just something small, but I think it sets the tone for the day. And I think that's really important to start your day off in a very positive way. Okay. Okay, so this is the assignment, the journal questions. I am going to say to do this either after we sign off of this call or later on during the week. That way you kind of have some time to reflect. And we'll be sharing these journal questions as you're comfortable in the Facebook group. So, what is your goal for your own mental well being? What is your goal for your own mental well being? It's a pretty open ended question, but it's something that's um, your life, your goals. What do you want from this class? What do you want going forward? Okay. Number 2, where are you right now on the mental health continuum? So that green, yellow, orange, or red. Last question to journal about. Take your time writing. What do you intuitively think is affecting your mental health? What do you intuitively think is affecting your mental health? This one may take a little longer to think about. Basically, what I mean is there's a lot of things that affect us, but is there something kind of maybe deep down, yes, this is affecting me? Is everybody good? Okay. The last one you don't have to write down. This is just, as I said earlier, the Facebook group is where we're going to kind of start to discuss this. It'll be nice because someone can write something and we can all kind of add on our thoughts. Excuse me. And so, excuse me, this is a place to post your journal responses, thoughts, experiences, really anything uplifting you find throughout the week. And then as you're writing, respond to others, make this active, support each other with what we're going through. So those are the three questions. And I'll post on the Facebook group kind of just whenever you're ready to. You don't have to do it tonight. You can do it throughout the week. Or you can post something else that's about your mental health, any kind of insight you had maybe on this lesson or whatever. So any questions about that before we move to prayer requests?